Hello again. I have in the past been criticised pretty heavily for a supposed obsession with ethnicity. This would be a fair point if it were the case that I spent my time ferreting out instances where ethnicity and religion are implicated in certain undesirable aspects of modern British society. The truth is, though, that such things are headline news every day, and it would take a deliberate effort of will not to notice what is going on. It would require one to don a set of ideological filters which blinded the wearer to what is glaringly obvious to any ordinary and unbiased observer. Take the death of two people on Monday in a stabbing spree in London. That is to say, a man running wild and sticking a knife in everybody in sight. Now, this was a case of not only the type of crime being familiar, but also the location in the London borough of Southwark, a short distance from London Bridge. Not only are stabbing sprees in this country almost invariably carried out by black people or Muslims, Southwark is pretty famous for such things. Can it be that people have forgotten the Islamist stabbing spree which took place on London Bridge at the Southwark end in 2017? 8 people died then. 2 years later, another stabbing spree, also by a Muslim fanatic in the same area, ended with 3 deaths. The use of knives by black criminals in Southwark is also a feature of the borough, as well as in the rest of London. So here is a question for liberal and anti-racist types, a genuine question. When first they heard of 4 people being knifed in Southwark on Monday, 2 of whom were killed, did they seriously think that this might have been something which involved only white British people? Or were they completely neutral? Did it not occur to them for a moment that ethnicity or religion might have played a role in the affair? I do not ask them to be honest in the comments here, but to themselves. Did anybody hear about this attack in Southwark and not assume that those involved would be Muslim or black? We know now that the 2 dead men were of Jamaican heritage and that the man arrested is from Hackney, where the older of the 2 dead men grew up. Here then is the problem with accusing me of being a fanatical racist who hunts out information which might cast some minority or other in a negative light. This kind of thing is actually headline news now every single day in this country. Guessing the ethnicity of those involved when hearing about 2 deaths in a quadruple stabbing in Southwark was not the act of a dedicated racist, but rather a simple deduction about a news item which every person in this country who was not deliberately blinded by ideology would have been able to make. It would require me to stop reading newspapers and to stop making simple and logical deductions based upon the evidence to avoid knowing that here was an event which would involve black people or Muslims. Perhaps then I should keep my mouth shut about such things in the cause of community cohesion. That is to say, not mention what is obviously going on the streets of the capital, lest I make it worse. It could hardly be worse, could it? I am not creating the weather. I'm merely a barometer, recording the air pressure and indicating in which direction it is moving. I know that some people think that the solution to the problem would be to destroy all the barometers and that this would somehow improve the weather. I'm very much afraid that even if I were to be closed down by YouTube tomorrow, along with all the other people who are pointing stuff like this out, this would not improve matters in this country in the slightest degree.